So Amanda writes in and asks, Christopher, how can I get blaming and justifying teammates to stop? All right, so we're going to talk about that. But first of all, a shout out to Snooze's restaurant here. It's early in the morning, July, hot morning on East 5th Street in Austin, Texas. And I'm meeting a friend for coffee, and I just have time to talk to you before that. So there's a number of things that I want you to think about if you can identify that people around you are blaming and justifying. Number one, there's nothing wrong with them. That's what the responsibility process teaches. It's very humane. It says that when we have problems that we don't know how to take ownership of, we go below the line in the process and we get stuck in blame or justify or shame or obligation. So number one, there's nothing wrong with those people. They're coping as best they can. Number two, you might ask yourself, what's in it for them to do that, right? So there's a number of reasons that we may be below the line. Number one is our own individual upbringing and training, so our own programming. So, some people get stuck there more than other places. Number two, what about the system you're in that's reinforcing it, that's teaching it, right? How did this system attract those people? How did it hire them? How did it select them? And how is it reinforcing them? What leadership messages around blame and justify are they getting? What leadership messages are they getting from you around justify and blame? Remember, it's 10,000 times easier to see the responsibility process in other people than it is to see it in ourselves. So how do you get them to stop? You'll never get them to stop. You'll never get yourself to stop. Every time something goes wrong, you go to blame. And now you may not act on it, but your thoughts go there. So you're never going to stop having thoughts of blame, and people around you are never going to stop having thoughts and actions of blame and justifying everything else. So then what do you do about it? Well, what you do about it is you educate yourself on how do you practice responsibility at a higher level? How do you become a better model for demonstrating responsibility? How do you catch yourself having thoughts of blame and justify faster and let them go? Secondly, how do you then have a conversation with teammates? And how do you introduce the responsibility process to them? And ask them for permission to have conversations about how we address things when things go wrong at work. Because problems happen all day, every day. And the responsibility process gives us a language for talking about problems. And then watch their response, right? If their response is one of not very high trust and leeriness, and if they go primarily to self-safety and control, then you might be in an environment that's just not safe for people to truly take responsibility. So there's lots of things for you to think about here. And I hope that I'm giving you some thoughts. Now listen, we're always here for you. We have a ton of DIY resources, and of course we have the premium resources as well to help. You might want to come to a quick start session sometimes. It's only $19 US for 80 minutes to get a quick deep dive into the responsibility process. And it gets rave reviews from people who've done it. So send all your questions to hello@responsibility.com. I look forward to hearing from you.